Thoughts generate feelings. Feelings generate behavior. Behavior generates success or failure. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about negative self-talk or automatic self-talk. What is automatic self-talk or negative self-talk? First of all, I will start by telling you what it is not. It is not like thinking. It is not like daydreaming. It is not like planning either. Then, what is it? It's a bunch of negative feelings we have about ourselves and others. And most of the time, it is unconscious. And because we believe it, it influences our behavior and feelings. Negative self-talk can cause depression, anxiety, stress, and a whole bunch of other mental illness. Negative self-talk can prevent us from moving forward and achieving our goals. How are negative self-thought generated? Negative self-talk come about our attempt to make sense of things in our environment that wound our self-esteem, make us feel insecure, and left us feeling insignificant and alone. That is a lot of words. And most times, words does not make sense to me. So let me create a picture. One day, after teaching a class, someone came to me and said, I do not understand anything you just said. And I froze. I remained quiet. I didn't say anything. That is strange. Someone else would have answered. They would have tried again to explain, but I was frozen. And I was thinking, wow, it's my fault. I cannot speak. And nobody understood my accent. Before I came to this country, I never had those thoughts. But a bunch of events happened that caused me to start thinking like that. I was in a new environment. Everybody had a different accent. And worse yet, people would talk to me and ask me questions, and when I answer, they would say, what? And I would repeat myself. And they would say, what? And I would repeat myself. And worse yet, one day I was walking down the street, I was dressed in short pants, I had my beautiful legs out, and a handsome young man was trying to talk to me. And at the end of the conversation, he said to me, you need to go to school to learn English. You cannot talk English. That just burst my bubble. Those events left me with low self-esteem, feeling insecure and insignificant. If it was not for the America's educational system, I would not be speaking to you today. But the schools helped me to challenge those beliefs. And as I challenged them, I realized they were not true. Therefore, I replaced them with correct, true beliefs. I stopped telling myself the lies. And I told myself the truth over and over and over again until I believe it. If it was not for America's educational system, I wouldn't be talking to you today, because I would have continued to believe all those lies that I tell myself. I wouldn't be speaking at all. So, My example is unique, probably, and probably, and probably most of you would not be able to identify with it. So let me give you a few other examples. Imagine that you receive a diagnosis of a terminal illness. The doctor said, hey, you're going to die in a week. The minute you hear that diagnosis, everything changes. You stop thinking about moving on with your life. You start thinking about dying. All your thoughts, day after day, sometimes night, sometimes you go through the whole night just thinking, making plans, blaming yourself. And some of the things you may come up with at the end, I am a bad person. Because bad things happen to bad people. If only I had gotten up in the morning and gone and ran, that would not happen to me. And you could continue and say, God does not love me. If God loved me, he would not give me that illness. So we come up with a bunch of negative thoughts. And if we continue to repeat it, it will become our automatic thoughts. I want to give you one last example. Imagine you are 7 years old, 4, 7 years old, and you have been molested and abused by family members, people in your community, people you love and you trust and you look up to for guidance. So that boy or girl will begin to have a lot of thoughts about what is going on with them. They would begin to think, wow, I am a bad person because bad things happen to bad people. I make people do bad things. And that girl or boy would do everything possible to keep themselves safe. They would be always surveying the environment. They are always making sure that they know exactly where the perpetrator is so that they would keep away from them. But each time they turn around the shoulder, the perpetrator is right next to them. No matter what they do, they cannot get rid of him. Therefore, they begin to think, I cannot do anything right. I am hopeless and I am helpless. And then when they look around and they see the other kids their age playing and having fun, and they cannot even go and play and have fun anymore because they are consumed with those thoughts. And they think, why is this happening to me and not to everybody else? Therefore, something is wrong with me. I am a bad person. I am useless. I cannot do anything wrong, anything right. Can you imagine that child growing up all their lives having those thoughts? Those thoughts will cripple you. Because anything wrong that happened, you will blame yourself. I am no good. I am no good. I cannot do anything right. Therefore, we need to examine ourselves. We need to examine our thoughts. Our thoughts are crucial to everything else. I hope that you have been jotting down those thoughts so that you can discover what those thoughts are. Now you know what it is. You know how it is created. Let us move on and talk how to get rid of those automatic thoughts. The first thing is to discover what it is. And how do you discover something that is unconscious? Let me tell you how I discovered mine. You know, one day I came from work and I was not hungry at all. But I went to my fridge, opened the fridge, and I am eating a celery stick. I do not like to eat celery stick. I am not hungry. So I asked myself, what is wrong? Why do I have a celery stick? And then I realized an hour from now, I was very happy. I was having a good time. And all of a sudden, I sat down for a couple of minutes and I began to feel sad. Then I asked myself, where is that sadness coming from? And I started from the time I get up in the morning. And I review everything I did and everything someone said to me until I discover what is coming up from my unconscious mind that is making me feel sad. An incident happened at work, and I was busy moving around, and it was, who cares? That was my attitude, and I never thought about it. But when everything is quiet down, there is no noise, there is no movement, a lot of things rise up inside of us. And that's what was going on. I was able to address it, correct it, throw it away, and move on. Now, if I didn't do that, I would remain in my sadness all night long, just, trying to be comfortable in sadness. So, this is what you do. You try to observe when your mood changes. Sometimes we are happy and all of a sudden we are sad. We need to ask questions. What is going on? To discover what happened. And sometimes we have to go with our behavior. If you are behaving angry and you are yelling and screaming at someone, you need to stop and ask yourself, why am I screaming and yelling at that person? Most time we think it's something that that person said or do to us. No, it is deeper than that. If you are angry and you're screaming and shouting at someone, it is because the person said something that you already know and that you believe. And that is why you are that angry. So, the person does not need to be changed. You need to examine what type of thoughts that is coming up. All the person might have said, you know what, remove your shoe and put it over there. And your automatic thought is, you know what, I cannot do nothing right. So immediately you go into anger. So we need to know those thoughts. So if we can find the event could be someone said, remove your shoes from there and put it over there. That is an event. And that event causes anger, depression, or pain. We need to take time and write down all the feelings generated from that event. And then next to it, we write all the thoughts generated from that event. And then we examine the thoughts and we ask the question, is it true? If it is true, where are the evidence? And if the evidence is true, does it bring you peace? If it does not bring you peace, don't hold on to it. Let it go. Now, what if there is no evidence? You need to stop telling yourself a lie and come up with the truth. The truth could be, sometimes I forget and I do the wrong thing. But time and time again, I am doing the right thing. I would give you that assignment, and most of you would go and sit down, and you would come up with 1,000 evidence to prove your negative self-talk. And you would discard all the positive ones. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to write down all the events in your life that is contrary to your negative self-talk. We try to prove our point. I don't want you to go and prove your point that you are a useless person, because there is no useless person. So that's a lie. Therefore, when you write your list, it should have, I can cook very well. Yes, I got an A in English. Someone said I look very good. All of that's a facts that disprove your negative beliefs. Therefore, the correct statement you should make, I am good at a lot of things. There are just a few things I'm not good at. And then when you get that positive belief, that correct self-talk, you repeat it over and over and over again until it becomes your automatic self-talk. If you don't, if you hold on to your negative self-talk, you will not be able to move forward. Remember, it is very easy to change your negative self-talk. Just stop thinking about them. And when they come up, said, no, that's not correct. I can do a number of things right. Keep saying it over and over and over. Remember, by the time you begin to think, you are preparing your body for action. So therefore, if you get up in the morning and your thoughts are, I am very competent, I am a competent runner, immediately your brain is generating new cells so that you can become a fast runner, a good runner. Remember, we can change our thoughts at the speed of a thought, and that is very rapidly. So don't be discouraged. Don't hold on to the idea that I cannot be changed. I have been like this all my life. Some people told me that they were born like this. Because it has happened over and over and over. It doesn't matter. You can generate a new neurons at any age. You could be past your 100. Each time you think, your neurons act the same. So, as we move on, I want you to be successful. I want you to be happy. I want you to be the person that God created you to be. Therefore, please listen. I know some of you have not started writing down your thoughts. Some of you don't even know what your thoughts are. Please, start a journal. When you are sad, write down something. When you are happy, investigate, examine, and write something. And some of you already know your negative self-talk. Because people tell you, oh, you are useless. You will never mount up to anything good. I'm sure you have heard that. Some of you have heard that. And some of you believe it. You know, when we are kids, and our cognitive development is not all that good, whatever someone says to us, we believe it. We accept it as the truth. We never challenge it. And we grow up as adults. We never challenge it. Now is the time to challenge it. Now is the time to change it. Now is the time to move on, to move forward. And I'm going to help you move forward. So keep tuning in, keep listening. The next time we talk, we will do specific negative self-talk. And I would walk you through it step by step. Thank you for listening.